Now you're gonna sweat.
Okay.
You give me a 1 star.
Yeah.
And then you write, I don't like historical fiction. Do you get jealous of any male characters?
And then trips and lands at our feet and pops up and goes, hey, hey, hey. How did I feel? Poof.
Ah!
Our brains go poof.
No,
First of
I
all-
don't want to know. Hello and welcome back to our channel. I don't remember which number of episode that is.
I'm nervous.
Good, you should be. Because today it's going to be very, very fun for me because I'm not going to be the one answering questions.
Who is?
You. Because I have to do a shout out to Donna Thompson,
Thank you, Donna.
who had this idea, this very, very good idea, for me to question Lee about my books or anything, I guess.
Like I'm not in enough trouble already.
But before we get into that, I need to just say, first of all, thank you so much, Donna, for
Yeah.
the suggestion. I love it, okay? But
It's very sweet.
despite that,
It's not her fault that I'm going to wind up in the doghouse for 3 months.
No, don't worry. They're not so terrible questions like yours.
Can we sign like a waiver that I'm not to be punished for whatever comes from this? Because I'm sitting here willingly and of my own accord. And I
I'm not
should
that scary.
Yes.
Anyway, you ruined my little flow of appreciation.
Oh, my flow
here.
was ruined. I promise you. I'll let you go.
Okay, but before we get into that, I really, really want to thank Donna for her support. And honestly, she's one of those supporters and readers that make me kind of shy. I don't know how to explain this, but she always presents her reviews in such a articulate and really heartwarming manner that it makes me feel like I'm somebody that I'm not, meaning that I'm higher up in the writing world and I'm not, if that makes sense, you know, but
Yeah.
she's just the sweetest person and she always makes me blush and it takes me a while to respond because I'm so shy to respond. And
pressure.
I get anxious, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Not to make you feel bad, but I don't know, I really, really appreciate you. And for me, anytime your name pops up, I'm just like, oh, it's, you know, it's her again, and it's really sweet. So thank you, and I'm so glad that we crossed paths. So
I agree to everything, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready for my questions?
No,
All right.
not at all, actually. No, I mean, to be fair, I had like 15 minutes to pop my little few
Me
questions.
too.
No, you had all day for this.
No, yes, but I did it within 10 minutes actually.
So you've been wanting this. Okay, I'm even more afraid now.
They might not even be that good, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, number 1. How many books have you read in your life and which book has had the biggest impact on you? I mean, you don't have to give a number, you know, we're not...
Yeah, I know.
But-
No, it's a hard number to come by. I have to thank my mom, actually, for fostering a love of reading in me. She read to me little bedtime stories, as the best moms do.
Yeah.
From the earliest age I can possibly remember. Like, I don't remember a time when she wasn't doing that. And as I, got older, it wasn't just, toddler books, but as I, became closer to the double digits in age, I'd get more advanced books and so forth. So anyway, she just really fostered it, made it fun. I think that's why I kind of get a kick out of reading books as well, because she put a lot of energy into it. She did all the characters' voices and she really made it a thing. So anyway, anybody who's on the fence about maybe reading to their kids, do it, because it can really influence them in a positive way, I think.
And I think you were very much into like the Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I am 36 today, which
Today?
Yeah, and
Okay.
yesterday and tomorrow.
Yes.
For 365 days. Anyway, I'm 36, which made me exactly Harry Potter's age when Harry Potter became a Potter
Yeah.
in the 90s. And so, anybody who read Harry Potter, they go sequentially each year. As Harry Potter grew up a year, so did I.
Yeah.
And his world became more advanced, so did mine. And, there I was at, 17 or whatever when the last one came out. And, Henny's fighting his battles and I was fighting my teenager battles or whatever.
Yeah.
And, my whole world was, just trying to really come out of my shell and become who I'm going to be and everything. Opening day, I sat down and read that entire book in one sitting. So just, fervent fan based on her reading that to me back when I was a little tyke.
So do you think like this is one of the books that was, what was it, that had the biggest impact on you, or can you think of another one?
It was one that I've got to say it definitely had the right ingredients of, fun and kind of making a world you want to live in. And it was really one of my earliest obsessions, I would say. Then I also got into, of course, Lord of the Rings when I was older, and my nerdliness progressed too. So I don't know what has really made the biggest impact on me. Something happened between all of them that made me want to see the whole world and be who I am today, wanting to see the whole world even more. For very pure reasons. This was before Instagram, before it was cool to do so, which is so frustrating and ironic because everybody and their brother wants to go, get cool pictures in cool places. But I wanted to do that before it was cool. Yeah. And I still do. Yeah. So, and I still enjoy doing it with you, who happens to be from the other side, which is kind of cool for me. Yeah.
Good.
As far as which books have made an influence on me, God, so many, there's so many classics that should make an influence on you and develop you as a person. I feel like in my path in particular, I maybe read some before I was ready for them. Yeah. You have to have a little bit of life experience under your belt to relate to certain more advanced things. And so I was reading it to kind of, it looks good on my resume. But I think that I should kind of make some more sweeps back through. All right. Definitely. I can keep talking.
No, it's fine. I'm just, I have to be also the moderator here.
Okay.
How does it feel being on the hot seat?
I think we need a button. Shut up.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. How did I word this now? That was very brief, okay? So don't judge me. Okay. You are
It's a fun question.
Don't look at my stuff.
I didn't.
You are an avid reader of serious, some would say very dry and slow written books.
Yeah.
How do you enjoy the lighter element of romance in this series?
Good question.
See, it's only good questions with me.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's actually a relevant question because I'm probably not the romance reader in general. Of course, a lot of books have a romantic element.
When I first met him and I went inside his little room and saw his little bookshelf, I saw a little how-to guide of how to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
No, that impressed me. I'm like, you don't see that in Greece.
Oh, yeah?
No, in Greece, men are a little...
No, I've got my own Victorian era thing where I was getting on eBay, and I've actually got a bunch of like old watches from that time period, or getting like the little calling card case thing, and this is what happens to somebody when they live to their own devices too much. But I think being a gentleman never goes out of style.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I think being a gentleman encompasses like your whole way of being.
Yeah, of course.
Not just to be a gentleman for like romantic pursuits or something, but just to actually be one.
Yeah.
To be honorable and all that. So, anyway, as far as so yeah, definitely not a avid romance reader. I've read like Bridges of Madison County, that kind of thing, because it's a photographer, of course. So got to do that, and Clint Eastwood. So yeah. Anyway, but not your typical, just happy ending romance so much.
Do you remember my question?
Yeah. I mean, about how it was reading yours on the lighter side. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's not my thing
Thank you.
in general. You know, so it actually made it a very tough walnut to crack.
Really? That's
yeah.
interesting.
You know, you show anybody something that's kind of like
Yeah.
not in their it's a harder thing. It's harder to break somebody into a genre of music that they don't listen to. You know, and of course yours isn't purely romance, but romance is important. I don't care how big of a tough guy you are. You need romance. It's important.
Yeah.
It's a big part of life.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very fundamental purpose of life. I think is this search for the one and all that.
Yeah.
No.
Fair answer.
So, I did enjoy it.
Good. All right. Wait. Do you think?
Oh no.
No, it's nothing bad yet. Do you think men should read more romance books written by women, so they understand what we're looking for in men, or do you think it's a task unachievable?
Yeah.
What?
I think that what women are looking for in men is, you know, how you kind of have the states of matter, you know, whether it's a solid or whether it's a liquid or whether it's a gas, or then you have that little special one where it's a plasma and you don't know what that is. I think that's what women are looking for. It's this. It's in the void.
It doesn't
it's in
exist.
the ether. It doesn't exist. It's a thing that when you look at it, it moves over there. So I'm not sure if it's traceable.
Well, what about?
However,
yeah.
I do feel like it's a missed opportunity.
So they should read.
I think
at
that
least
maybe when I was younger, instead of practicing Wingardium Leviosa, I should have been practicing how you do it. A little bit better, a little bit more.
Okay. Do you like my questions?
I
so
have
far?
learned.
What? Oh yeah.
I have learned some tricks though.
I've taught you well through my books.
Yep. You got to put the arm up on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. Back. Okay. Wait. Do you think in general that it's important for men to read books? Like not romance, but in general, books.
Yes. Yeah.
Expand.
Okay, expand. I feel like in general, humanity has come up with a lot of ways of conveying information. It used to be only through storytelling. Then kind of like the rise of actually real civilization was being able to write it down, pass it through generations, spread it more easily.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fundamental to being human to read. That being said, there's many psychologies where, you know, maybe it's not comfortable to sit down and read a really long book and all that. Thankfully, we're in an age where there's other, you know, more visual media. You know, you get on YouTube, you can learn a lot. Jenna is helping me with her grunts.
That's a rather dog.
That's another form of communication.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it wasn't for books, we would still be using grunts a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think it's, you know, learning's what's really important.
Yeah.
But still to this day, reading is the most dense form of learning, the most available form of learning. You can do it from your phone. You can access the entire library of, you know, human knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, but, you know, it's not just learning, though. Reading books, it's also like the escape of it.
Yes.
You know.
And when I say learning, I don't mean, you know, reading.
No, I know. I know what you mean.
Well, I should say to them, I don't mean reading academically.
Yeah.
When you are reading something that's purely fiction, you are learning life lessons. You're learning the lessons of loss.
Yeah.
You're learning the lessons of, you know, gratitude or suffering or I mean, there's so many lives that you can live through this, and I think it really makes you grow.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the same way you grow when you become older and you're exposed to experiences, some more than others, depending on how adventurous a life they live. Reading is a really good way to crank up your adventure numbers in some way without ever leaving your house.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You got to grow.
Okay, now we will get more into the questions that involve the Loveletting series. Not because, you know, I want it to be about me, but I think it's important for the channel.
It's kind of the Loveletting series channel.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's fair.
How do you feel being married to an author and how does that impact our relationship, good and bad?
Okay. Well, the fundamental answer is I love it. I view art obviously very highly. I feel like it's very important. I feel like art in general is kind of like the highest form of self-actualization in a lot of ways. To produce it, you have to be, and I don't just mean financially, but like mentally in a place other than survival. Or perhaps the inverse is true. It helps survival. But it's the higher level of creation beyond just living to see another day. It's creating something greater than yourself. So anyway, art in general. If you turned out to be a sculptor, I think that would be amazing as well. I feel like my own art of photography is paling in comparison to what my mom did with painting, or what you're doing with writing, where you're creating worlds out of thin air. I'm just kind of trying to do a decent job of presenting something that already exists. There's art and technicality in it, but creating something from scratch, I feel is
I don't think that
objectively
one art
higher.
is better than another. You know, it's just. I mean, yeah, maybe.
I feel like creating something from scratch is just, it's different.
Okay.
So anyway,
I'm not gonna argue.
long story short, I have a lot of respect for it. I had no idea that you'd become an author when I met you. It's not something that you talked about. It's not something that was on the thing. Although, knowing in hindsight how good your art language is, I'm not surprised that you have an affinity for it. But yeah, as far as how I feel, I honestly don't think I'd prefer for you to be anything else. There's a cerebral element to it that I find really, intoxicating almost. I love that. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's getting heated in here.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's lots of forms of attraction, but
Yeah.
mental attraction's definitely there. So, to see you create these whole worlds, I find extremely impressive. And I also think you've grown a lot by doing it too. So, yeah, I'm as a thing to do. I think it's really amazing, and I respect it hugely. And even if it doesn't become some blockbuster success, I am honestly going to put that to the fact that it's not everybody's cup of tea, and no art is. You can make what I think is the most brilliant form of music, and maybe not everybody likes it. It's not what's on the radio.
Yeah.
Your book is not what's going to be on the radio.
Yeah.
So regardless of what happens, I'm actually extremely proud of you.
Thank
and really,
you.
really happy to read them. The negatives have
Yeah,
not
I
come yet,
wanted
so
to.
put that paper down.
I wanted to say.
Oh yeah, I know. Negatives is what you've been doing since last year. I don't see you a lot. Actually, I do see you a lot, but mostly about the books. Your entire mind is on the books. It is a one-track thing, and she really is gone for most of the day, and all of her energy is into that. We've kind of stopped doing other projects or other things because there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's just writing is such a how to say demanding task that really it necessitates your attention all the time. So there's this constant flow and inspiration. That's the problem with it. It's not like, I don't know. I can't think of a good example right now.
if a painter is working on a piece, then they might, pull an all-nighter for a reason because they're inspired in that moment.
Yeah.
And you have to capture that little songbird
I
as
mean,
it is
you
fleeting.
also know that with editing photographs, when you're in the mood or in the moment, you cannot stop.
Well, I find
And-
that there's a flow state.
That,
I'm a huge believer in the flow state where you kind of are so focused on what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about yourself,
Yeah.
or you're not thinking about things.
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
are happening automatically, and time slows down.
Yeah.
And so I've felt that a lot of times, specifically, out and say in a place that I'm just really enjoying, really feeling it, really, really knowing, the ideas are popping exactly how to present it. It's thrilling. It's like a drug. It's the best feeling in the world.
It is. It really
If
is.
anybody isn't familiar with flow
It's very
state, look
addicting.
it up, figure out how to get in it. You've got to probably use something that you either are really good at or that you really enjoy, or both, to find flow state. But, an athlete might find it when he's, untouchable.
Yeah.
Or an artist might find it when they're creating something that they really, maybe not something that they're, commissioned to do, but something they
it's
want
different.
to do. It's different.
It's different.
Go find the flow state. But anyway, so this is kind of what I relate to you when you are in your flow state quite often, more than I ever am. So I'm envious of it.
Yeah, no.
You know, when you're writing for 6 hours and don't blink, that's a flow state.
And you know, it's not always smooth either, though. When I'm up there,
no,
I'm
of
writing,
course not.
you know, I do have my struggles sometimes.
No, sometimes you're writing a billion words, and sometimes you're writing few because the character was difficult or the research was difficult or whatever. There's so many factors.
Especially, you know, doing like historical fiction or a mixture of it. It requires a lot of research and a lot of accuracy, and you just have to make sure everything is correct and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't think it's the best for the average relationship.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That I think I wouldn't probably be able to find an understanding partner, you know, that would compare to you like this. You know.
Well, it just depends on how you view reading, or how you view writing as well. You know, like obviously I've got a very elevated perspective on it, so I'm just like, okay, don't touch her while she's doing this. She's making something great. And also understand there's the, you know, realities of life, and you know, it's not always possible to spend that type of time. And you know, practicality is also important for real world survival. There's a lot of starving artists out there for a reason. Yeah. So, you know, I can kind of put myself in all the shoes, but from all these perspectives, it's definitely not for everybody. No. But I think it works for us somehow.
I think it reminds me almost like when somebody is involved with somebody who is a gym freak, you know, or a bodybuilder or whatever.
Yeah.
It's also
your entire life is revolving eating, working out, eating again, working out again, sleeping.
Yeah, you have to understand and appreciate the sport or the art or whatever.
You got to be a fan of it. By the same token, how many hikes have you gone on with me that you found absolutely miserable?
Only that once when I was stuck on the thing. Was it your birthday or my birthday? When I froze.
I think mine, yeah.
That thing.
Yeah, it was.
It was terrible.
Not rock climbing, but you know, kind of
ridiculous.
A 3-point connection where you got to use your hands.
I've never done this in my life, and you took me up this pinnacle over there, and I literally froze. I was in panic mode, and I'm like, I'm not moving. I mean, I'm
not going up.
I'm hugging this rock.
Not going down.
Not going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've got this thing where both of my grandfathers were pilots, actually. So I love aviation. I was on flight sims from a kid. I could probably fly a plane okay right now, although I'm not licensed. It's on my bucket list to get it. But you know, I
was in a plane with him, and he flew.
Yeah, and I didn't kill us.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you for going because you're very phobic.
Yeah, I wasn't always, but recently, yes.
But on the other hand, and this is also to do with photography as well, you know, a lot of water stuff, and I don't do so good with water. Heights I'm great with, rock climbing or mountains or whatever. Flying I'm great with. Water, you know, she's you know, Poseidon's daughter, and loves the ocean and wants to swim with orcas. So bad.
We're doing this sometime.
I know. I mean, and I'll do it, but it scares me to death because I can swim, but I got, I guess, dunked the wrong way into the water when I was a little bitty one, and it stuck with me. Yeah. So I just don't enjoy it to the full capacity that I should.
All right. Where is my red button? Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's called story time.
I know, but still.
Or this one isn't story time.
Wait. This is a personal question. I mean, personal favorite. Who is your favorite character from book 1 to book 4?
Ah, okay.
So we don't spoil anything.
So I don't say Mrs.
No, you don't.
Okay. No. From book 1 to book 4.
Yep.
I gotta go with Mac.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Why not?
Elucidate.
Were you hoping for Mr. Pratchett? I mean, Mr. Pratchett's me, right? So
yes.
I can't choose him. That's not right. Well, everybody loves Mac. You have to love Mac. Why he's
See how it is when
it's really tough to
when
say.
When people ask you questions and you're like blank.
Yeah.
It's very strange, you know?
Yeah, true. It's just kind of difficult to put it into words. Of course, I'm kind of preaching to the choir since that's what you do is put things into words.
Yeah, but don't worry, I understand.
Yeah, well, but to try to answer better, he's just extremely complex. You feel crazy amounts of empathy for him, even though on paper you shouldn't, which I think is a huge feat to accomplish. He's relatable in an odd way with his...
With you mean?
Well, I mean, with me specifically, he's a lot more of a badass than I'd ever hoped to be. Although I did inspire you to write him, so I'm kind of... Yeah. I've been told.
Okay. All right. In your opinion, have I succeeded in presenting men properly through my male characters? If not, what would you change? What? I've always wondered.
That's a tough one. Okay.
You have many options too.
I'm aware.
You have Tilghman.
I know.
You have Tilghman.
Yeah.
You have Tilghman.
Oh, why is that in the forefront of my mind to answer this question?
Take your time.
I do think that you've done a good job of not making this caricature of men. That's just kind of like a stereotype. You've made them. You've honestly made them very realistic in a lot of ways. I think you've actually shown a lot of respect for each gender also, because you don't just kind of break them down. You allow them all these kind of freedoms.
Yeah.
I think Tilghman is what makes it just not realistic. Tilghman has things happen to him that just... it's just ridiculous.
I mean, if you were Tilghman, in every dimension, all around. I mean...
I still don't think so. I think that you've kind of warped reality to make things happen around.
Why? What is so unrealistic with him?
Just...
He even has an injured eye. It's not perfect.
And apparently that makes him all the more alluring.
But really, it's,
And it was his one eyeball bouncing. Tilghman gets away with things that anybody else would be shot for.
No.
Things happen to Tilghman that just, I think, even for him, I mean, granted, he's got a lot of things going for him, but yeah,
he's blessed.
I think you got more fantasy in that than Harry Potter does. A little bit.
He's just blessed. Okay. All right. What aspect of my writing do you think I should improve on, and how would you suggest I do so? Only honest answers.
Okay. The biggest thing, and I don't know whether it's something you should change or not, but the biggest, most glaring thing that pops up to me intuitively is I think that some of your writing is difficult to understand for the average bear.
Why?
And I think that that's perfectly okay. I mean, there's a lot of books that have these kind of, I mean, I'm not singling yours out. There's a lot of books that you read, page after page, and you're like, what the heck is actually
Are you referring to
happening?
like the prose or
exactly. Yeah.
Or the abstract?
Just the abstract lyrical paragraphs. Sometimes, while beautiful, it's flows. You can tell. I mean, everything's written just perfectly. It fits the mood, whatever that is. But if you ask me to tell you what it said, I don't think I'd be able to tell you.
Not even with the context.
I mean, yes.
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 As long as it has a context.
Yeah.
I understand if you take it, out of context and you read it to somebody. No, nobody's going to understand what's going on.
No,
I understand
not.
that. I agree with them.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, I feel like it may limit how many people can really absorb your work.
Yeah. I mean, or...
Because it does take a little bit more brain cells to put it together, and you can't do it on autopilot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to go back.
No,
Sometimes
I agree.
the context is something that happens after that paragraph. So then I've got to take that context in mind and go back and read the lyrical paragraph again.
Yeah.
which on its own is actually quite a fun thing too.
Yeah,
it just really
it
depends.
can get tiring, I understand, but it's just,
It depends on how big of a hurry you're in to read this book, on how many hundreds of books you've got on your challenge for the year, and that type of thing. I feel like it does maybe alienate you a little bit from some.
No, I agree.
But then again,
it is though.
You're good at it.
It is my style.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I try to write my book, and I'm not being defensive right now, I'm explaining why I do this, which I agree with you that it is something that will alienate me.
Yeah.
Terrible word.
Green man.
Huh?
Little green man.
Yeah. What was I saying? What was I saying? No, that if I were to basically write my books to market, I wouldn't write that. And I know how to write
It'd
that.
be a completely different series.
Yeah, but
the length would change. The amount of books in the series would change. The dark concepts would change. So and that's also something I see a lot, is if you're going to change one thing, you should change all the rest. And it won't be, might as well start a new series.
Yeah,
it's a totally different
but
thing.
marketing aside, it's not only that, it's also that I do want to show that I'm the one writing these books and this is my style.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know how, when you read a book and you're like, okay, this author wrote this.
Yeah.
That's my goal, that at least I can have a style, my own style. Even though
that's a very fair point.
if, it's not 100% correct, like structure-wise.
Yeah.
Or sentence-wise, grammar-wise,
The voice at the end of the day is the unique thing.
That's what I think, and that's what I tell also other authors that are just now starting or whatever, that I do think that having your own voice is so important and is going to be a very rare thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in photography, being, a sharp photograph is great, but it is not the most important thing. There's lots of very sharp and very dull photographs.
Yes. Yeah.
Having a heart.
Yeah.
Having a soul to the image is what's important. And so having a visual voice, having a written voice. I mean, and it works too. It's really funny if you consider like how many Pulitzer Prizes Cormac McCarthy has.
Exactly.
And I'm a fan. I've read.
Yeah, I've
most
also
of his
read
books.
him, but he has his own style.
But if he wasn't Cormac McCarthy and he entered this anonymously,
yes,
they would ridicule him for the way he writes, unstructured.
Yeah, but it's so ironic that when I send my stuff to some person or whatever, and they say the structure is wrong, or whatever, which I don't agree with.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Yeah,
because I have a very similar style to him actually. Yeah. In terms of structure, or the Hemingway or whatever.
Hemingway definitely. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
It's just. There is a style, there is a lyrical prose, it's literary fiction in the end. Yeah. And I hate that people don't see that. I hate when editors, say you cannot start a sentence with and. Yes, I know that. Yeah. I know that. But it has to be there at this moment, for this context, for this scene. It's just, there is you feel it when you write it, that it needs to be there. Yeah. Do you think this is still recording?
Let's check. Okay, so we are still recording, which means
we check
that,
the camera.
Yeah. So I can say that if Hemingway had some draft found and was put, on the book circles today without his name on it,
I was on one of those groups, I don't know what it was, romance groups or whatever. And honestly, I shouldn't be there, because when you see readers complain about typos and ridicule, how do you pronounce Ridicule.
That is something, as an avid reader, I would always develop my vocabulary through reading. Yeah. And then pull out my fancy words in real life and get absolutely slammed in the dirt because I didn't have a clue how to pronounce those things.
Yeah, because when I learn a new word, I don't necessarily go and see how it's pronounced, because I'm in the middle of writing and I'm saving and I'm doing all this stuff, but I don't have time. But I let my fantasy speak it out.
I can't take credit for this, but it's stuck with me because I think it's cool. If you ever hear someone pronounce a word wrong, like clearly wrong, never make fun of them, because it means that they learned it on their own. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is an honorable thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They weren't taught it.
No,
they went out and found it on their own.
There's no way in hell that I would ever make fun of somebody for even a grammar mistake or anything like this. It's just people learn in ways that you don't know of. I mean, you don't know if somebody can afford a teacher or can even afford to go to school or anything like this. It's just some people are just so freaking cruel out there. I can't. It just annoys me.
We all know how much better you become by putting others down.
Yeah, you're right.
It elevates you so much.
Yes, but anyway, that basically goes back to my point that I was in one of those groups, and there was this reader that was basically screenshotting a page from an author. Beautiful fly over here.
Yeah, we have horses.
Yes,
that comes with the package.
I'm sorry. Okay, so basically, she was making fun of his sentence structure, or that he had a sentence with no period, and it was a lot of ands, which I also do in certain situations. And he's not a new author, but an established author, but not very popular like others, right? So I went there and said, and I posted a excerpt from Hemingway. Mm-hmm. The same freaking thing with the and, right?
Yeah, good job.
And literally just shut their mouths.
Yeah.
Because it's just the ignorance. Well, the ignorance.
Some rules are meant to be broken.
Yes.
And, while it's not, grade school English to say and.
No, it's not. But
it is used for an effect.
And there is an effect. It's accurate.
Yeah.
It's accurate because when I read this, I understand.
It has a flow. You understand why they did that.
Yes, it's a poetic type of thing.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me when people that are ignorant about it choose to be vocally ignorant about it, and just even if you don't like something, stop putting others down.
Yeah.
Stop making fun of them.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Manners. No, I can't. This just makes me crazy when people don't have manners. When they are unnecessarily cruel.
Yeah.
I'm not for bullying and all that. I can't. No. Okay.
Well, and it's typically the ones who haven't accomplished a lot of their own that tend to put others down.
I want to tell these people, okay, get in front of a computer or open up a page and write something. Write something worth it. Okay? Yeah. You have no idea.
Yeah.
It's easy to write something that is basic.
Yeah.
But just, okay.
Oh, you don't like, it goes with anything.
I
You don't like a song, then show me your melody.
Yeah, it's just people.
Show me your melody.
Just people. And that's why I'm not a people person.
It's so easy to assume that something is easy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't want to bring drama in here or anything.
Well, it goes with everything, and it's a people thing. I think anybody with any job can relate. What makes your job suck? The people.
Well, it's just, is it so difficult to have manners or be kind or be understanding or just don't make fun of people?
I remember when I was shooting photos for the State Park Service.
I was thinking about that, yeah.
And it was in a lodge, and your architectural photography has a lot of technicalities to it. And the employees there came up and said, "So you just get paid to push the button, huh?" And that always stuck with me a little bit. And I said, yeah.
Yeah, there is this thing that photographers basically just push the button, or horse riders just let the horse do its thing, or just I don't know.
It's so easy to assume that something is easy when you don't know.
Yes, and people are just ignorant.
There's a graph that I think is really fun, where it shows the progression of when you first start something, and you learn a little bit about it,
right?
And you say, "I know everything about this."
Okay.
And then you go down.
Yeah,
no, I know nothing. And then as time goes further, then you start to know.
Yeah, but even when you start to know, then again you don't know nothing, and again you start knowing more. I see that with writing.
It's like reaching a hill to see further the things you don't know.
Yeah.
When you're starting on the ground, you can't see out of the Shire. You can't see to Mordor. I'm sorry for Lord of the Rings reference.
No, yes.
You can't see out of your own little valley to know how big of a challenging world is out there of things to know in that subject.
And when I first started writing, if you showed me like Hemingway's excerpt, I would have probably, okay, this little fly here.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have probably said, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I get it now.
Yeah.
Because I've written over 1 million words. And I've edited and rewrote, and it's just...
You've written over 2 million words.
I have? Oh, okay.
No.
And, you know, it could be all bullcrap. But...
Actually, that's an old number. If your books are averaging 200,000 words and you've got 20 of them, 4 million words. We need to update those stats. Anyway, but yeah.
No, but you know what I mean, that I've trained it so hard or so much that I see things differently now.
Yeah.
But again, when I first started, I wasn't bringing down other people.
Right.
So.
Well, maybe that's what made you grow. You didn't spend your energy putting others down to get better.
No, and I don't spend my energy.
You put your blinders on and try to make yourself better.
Yes.
Nobody ever gets better by putting others down.
No. Mm-mm.
It does not work by osmosis.
No. Okay. I know we kind of, yeah.
There is one analogy I want to say, though, because I know somebody's going to comment this, or if this was a bigger channel, I know somebody would comment it. You know, we say, you know, we put Hemingway or McCarthy,
Yeah.
you know, but they're writing out today anonymously and it would cause issues. Well, Stephen King did that.
What?
He after he was popular, I don't remember, you know, it was much earlier in his career, but he was already a bestseller. He said, well, let's see if I can do it again. And he started a complete anonymous, you know, name.
Okay.
It was like Hill or something like that.
Okay.
And, well, apparently they became popular too.
Okay.
So it kind of proves what we said wrong. Although I will also say that Stephen King's writing is different than Hemingway.
For me, Stephen King's writing is more...
It's a little bit more to market.
That, yeah. Like, I don't like Stephen King's writing.
He's got a formula that excels at what it is. He's got that formula, like, and scientifically, where it works. So, of course, applying that same formula again. And I'm not saying he's not talented at that formula and making it work, but I think that part of Stephen King writing is the art, and part of it is making, not my tea.
Sorry.
Part of it is the writing, and part of it is making sure that it meets the market as well. It's a dual horn strategy.
Yeah, and you know, he says a lot of things like, after you're done with your draft, then delete a certain, like, I don't remember what he says.
Half of it.
No, I don't want to say wrong.
I think it's half of it.
I think it's 10,000 words, or I don't remember right now. I don't agree with that. But of course, I cannot say that because I add things. Maybe you need to delete 20,000
words. Maybe you need to delete 2,000 words, but you can't just say.
You can't just say what somebody needs to do. But I see it so many times when authors are trying to cut down or thin out the pages. And I'm like, why? Just to market it? What about the story? It's so crucial. But I don't know. I mean, I speak here like somebody with a freaking, how do you say?
Let me use Harry Potter as an example, just because it's a very universal one that most people are somewhat aware of the story. The battle happened at the end of the book. It was predictable that there was going to be, you know, a fight.
Yeah.
That's not what made it special.
No.
Nor the twist or anything. What made it special is the day-to-day going around this castle, seeing the friendships happen, the funny little interactions in class, feeling that you live there day to day. In fact, that was my favorite parts of it. Not the first chapters where you're kind of, you know, getting into the book again while it's still awkward before it gets its legs, and not the end where she's got to wrap it all up. It's that 80% in the middle, that day to day time where you're just taken to this other world.
Yeah,
and
it just seems...
If people pull out all the color out of their books because they've got to meet Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and what's expected of that in a timely fashion, then you lose a lot of the art that you put into making that world.
Yeah. All right, I have still more questions.
And we said this would be 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a question mark here because I don't know if I want to get into that or not.
That sounds interesting.
Because I don't want it to be like, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, I'll say, how do you feel about the negative reviews that I get since you're the one serving them?
Yeah, I'm the one who reads it. I don't,
Yeah,
you know.
because I do get hurt,
Yeah.
not with negative feedback that is helpful,
Yeah. Yeah.
but with people that are just cruel.
You know, I mean, I feel very protective. You know, I don't say that your book is the best in the world.
No, nor do I say that. No.
Okay. But at the same time, though, I think that there's a lot of, forgive me for saying it, bullshit out there, and you know, yours is objectively not in the bullshit category. It's far higher.
Well, it's just I feel like if you were writing books and I was, you know, looking over the reviews, not the negative feedback, but the trolls. That would be hard for me to not reply to them.
Yeah, and
because of course
the number one rule is the author should never reply.
Yeah,
and I'm. If I did it, it would be like from the author's account, or if I did it from my account, then it would be like, well, you're the author's husband, so it's the same. So there's a few different types of bad reviews.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
No, I'm not going to say anything you don't know about.
No, I don't want to know.
It is so hard for me because it makes me sad, and she can tell if I'm sad, and then I've got to, you know, suck it up, Buttercup, and not let you know.
I know.
It's really tough.
I know.
It's really tough when there's like one I was like, oh my God, really? Anyway, but actually most of your reviews are actually very good. You've got a good rating on most everywhere.
I don't even look. I don't know what the rating is. I don't care what the rating is.
Yeah.
I'm just writing and that's it.
You know, we've also kind of, you know, tried to spread our book out to some less than savory places, which I think kind of found some of the bad ones too, which is kind of our fault. But it's hard getting a book out there. It really is.
It's just, why do you choose to read a book when you don't like historical stuff? And you give me a 1 star.
Yeah.
And then you write, I don't like historical fiction.
It's got historical fiction written all over it.
Yes. Why is this fair and why is this allowed?
Yeah.
I feel like the review system should at least be a little bit fair. To filter
it's
out.
It's fine to not like a genre,
yes.
But it doesn't mean that is a bad product in that genre.
Or the other one with the erotica, the same thing. What was it?
That she likes the more pure erotica, but yours is not marketed as erotica either.
No, it's not, and it just.
So it's the same thing.
I don't understand. I
mean, should I go on a Iron Maiden album and write I like the Beatles better?
Yeah, or Justin Bieber or whatever.
Or just or anybody. Just put like the opposite genre on it and say 1 star because it's not that.
I don't know. I just feel like people don't understand that there is a person behind these accounts or these books, and they do have feelings. Yes, they do. And it just, I have been to restaurants where they served me something terrible, and I still don't have the heart to leave a review.
Yeah.
It's just
because it's still a person. They're still trying on some
level. Yeah, and I'm not saying that my way is correct either. I do think there is a place and time for negative feedback and reviews and even complaints, but be mindful. I mean, do it.
Well, besides hurting feelings, we can push it away, but ultimately, 100 stupid reviews do bring your rating down.
Yeah.
So there is an effect. The other...
no, I don't want to hear it.
No, it's what you just mentioned. I just wanted to say it again. There's a couple of reviews that are actually completely negative and extremely long and detailed. And when you look at their profile, yours is the only book they've reviewed.
I know.
For somebody who's only reviewed
I'm really
one
lucky
book.
with getting all the bad stuff. I don't know why. The Amazon ban thing. It's just...
It just really strikes me suspiciously. Why does an account only make one review, yours, before or since? And that's the only thing they did, and put, probably hours of effort into writing all the ways you're bad.
Wow.
They just must not like you.
Yeah, so, some things are a little bit suspicious, but it's to
and
be
it might be
expected.
the same person that went and did it again somewhere, under another name. I don't know. It's funny, but anyway, good to have fans.
Okay.
Good to have fans.
Good to have fans. Okay, I don't like
good
this
to have
question.
Good to have somebody that cares so much. And we're actually not being. I actually don't genuinely don't have a suspicion of who it is either.
Me neither, but it is suspicious.
But just the nature of it
That is just my book, and they
Yeah.
made an account. It just, I don't know.
They hated it so much to do that.
Just, I swear. Anyway. Okay. Now you're gonna sweat.
Okay.
Right. Do you identify with any male characters in my series? Expand on that.
Tilghman. I thought we established that he's very realistic. I don't see why that's so funny.
Tell me.
Tilghman.
Be honest to the family.
One eye. Tilghman.
LB.
Darling.
Come on.
Okay. Okay. Well, a few different ways. I feel like I relate to Mac. Maybe not in the serial killer aspect so much,
Yeah.
but I was homeschooled, and old school homeschooled, like on your own homeschooled, which was a fantastic thing. You know, my parents decided to pull me out just because, you know, academically they didn't see it being a thriving environment. They wanted me to be able to, you know, move forward at a faster pace and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of lessons to be learned, though, from getting beat up and stuffed into your locker that I missed out on those.
Yeah.
And maybe that left me a little bit vulnerable later in life to be taken advantage of or that kind of thing, you know, too. There's just some odd ways to look at it.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's more that you learn from your peers in school years than strictly academic. Probably more than academic, because that's the last thing you're paying attention to. But also just the general societal effect. And it's something that obviously I can, you know, talk the ears off a turnip now. But at the time, though, you feel very ostracized from society in general or from your peers. Or when I first started working, it was entirely around adults when I was very, very young.
Yeah.
So you also feel like the odd one out in a lot of ways. So, you know, as you get older, everything evens out. It's all, but it does kind of put you down a developmental path where I relate to this in Mac, where he just feels like he's on the outside looking in quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I can relate to that.
Me too.
Yeah.
In a different way. Yeah.
I think that you can be living a very public life and still feel like you're on the outside looking in.
Yeah,
Maybe maybe it's quite common.
Yeah.
That's maybe why a lot of people relate to Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had people say that they relate to him, honestly, and that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely. I also relate to Jesse a little bit. He's got a good heart.
He's Jesse.
Yeah, he's a photographer.
Yeah, he's Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm probably a little bit too much of a Jesse for my own good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Need to be more of a Tilghman.
We may have issues. Okay. Wait. Yes. Hold on. Okay, that is actually a serious question, so don't laugh. Do you get jealous of any male characters?
I think we've already established that.
No, wait, genuine.
Genuinely.
No, genuine. Why can't I not say it right now? It's not genuine question.
Genuine question, yeah.
Genuine. Genuine.
You need to say it Southern. Genuine.
Genuine. That's much easier. Genuine question.
That's why they say it, I'm sure.
You think? Okay, genuine question. Because I've read that many readers may come across such an issue with their boyfriend or spouse. And many times they say, oh, don't read this. Because of that and that.
I mean, it's a fictional character.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you mean like real jealousy?
Yeah. Well, I know you're not jealous. I mean, I know that. But
but I'm just saying, for any of those, I mean, of course they can be perfect on paper.
Yes.
They are bound by a set of rules that you are not. Or you're bound by a set of rules that they are not. So I don't think it's really logical to be jealous of this. Somebody can be perfect
I have
in concept
seen,
or imagination.
though, in those same groups, women come and complain that, well, my husband doesn't do this, my husband doesn't do that, and I read all these nice romance stories, and
Yeah.
I just wish that things were like this, and they're not. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it is fiction, you know, and relationships do need a lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of understanding and compromise and all this stuff. And, you know, you have to differentiate.
I feel like, I mean, yes, everyone should be better, should strive to be better, should continuously throughout their life but try to become better. And also in a relationship, not just, you know, when you become official or when you become engaged or married or whatever, it doesn't stop then, right? You should always, and you know, I mean, we're guilty of that. You know, we get so caught up in the stresses of life or reality or whatever, you know, you kind of lose track of us.
Yeah.
But we both know that to succeed, you have to keep trying.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if you've been married, you know, a decade, or if you've been married, you know, 50 years. I think you still have to keep trying. Yeah, but as far as the men feeling jealous, I think by the same token, it's not really correct for someone to feel like their boyfriend is terrible just because they're not liking the book.
No.
Because that's really not a realistic
it's
standard.
not.
The same way a man should not judge a woman because she's not looking photoshopped.
Yeah.
It's exact, you know, it's just there is reality, and reality is also a very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think the more fakeness we see in the world, the more disgusted I am by it. Just my personal opinion.
He's a Jesse.
Yeah, but Tilghman
And a Mac.
Tilghman gets rewarded more than Jesse's do. But you know, so I'm not saying follow my advice if you know want to have the
Is
gentleman's
it really
handbook.
a reward though? If it's not, you know, something
Yes.
deeper.
Yes.
It is? Okay.
I'm teasing. No, genuine beauty is not the fake stuff.
Well, it's
And that could
also
be fake
something
actions.
deeper than the superficial.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's much deeper than just the superficial attraction or the superficial behaviors, or you know.
Yep. Whose tummy
I think
is?
that's Jenna's tummy.
Okay, I thought
We gave her some 1% yogurt earlier.
Yeah.
Had the audacity when she likes the full fat yogurt. She did not like it.
Jenna is our female dog.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, in case you're wondering who Jenna is under
Yes.
the table.
she's under the table.
It's our dog.
Yes.
I guess that should have been clarified. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the bad reviewers. They're in a box.
Yes, in a box.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, so the tummy's still rumbling. I had to concentrate. No one is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, also my expectations of you and your expectations of me and all that. I think that we can learn things from these books and say, hey, that's cool, or this is nice, or whatever. But for example, if you expect your husband to be the bad boy who goes out and you know does all these things, well, in the real world, there's a really good chance that you know he's going to get his spine broken by somebody who fights dirty, and then he's going to be disabled the rest of his life.
Yeah.
There's always a risk versus reward, and it's really, really cool in a movie to be the tough guy, and it's really, really cool.
Of course.
And I've taken a lot of maybe not strictly violent chances, but I've taken a lot of like being out in the wilderness and going places I shouldn't, or being under a tide that's going to come in that I'm going to be pulverized if I stay out too long, or going up this rock thing without equipment that I should, and I'm not experienced enough to do it, but I do it anyway, and just or hopping over a crevasse or something.
A who?
Like over over a little cliff onto the rock out there. If I twisted my ankle on the landing, I would go down a kilometer. And how many times have you seen me twist my ankle? Yeah. So risk versus reward. The shot wasn't that much better 20 feet out that way. It really wasn't. Not enough to never take a shot again. So anyway, I do feel like in the real world, some of the bad boy stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenna's belly. Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, we're talking about men. I mean, there's also the femme fatale qualities that a man might get jazzed up for in a book.
Yeah.
It's not what you want in your partner.
No.
It's really not. So yeah, just keep perspective of what you're reading, where it is.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for what it is.
Now a little bit more
Scandalous.
scandalous. How did you feel when you read the first time intimacy scene written by me?
How did I feel? Boop.
Ah!
Well, you wanted the truth. Why not?
I swear.
Well, you saw it.
Oh my goodness. You're getting way too confident in this podcast.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, why? You always tell me why talk 1,000 words when one, boop will do, and I'm making up for all the long answers I've given you.
God.
What else is there to say? For all the talking I did about books and humanity and all that, I mean, sometimes...
You're still a man.
Yeah, fundamentally, yes.
So that's your answer?
I mean, okay. It was fun. It was fun to see you do that. I know it had to be so awkward to actually write down.
Exactly, I wanted to say
It
more
had to be
about
so
that.
awkward to actually... I mean, I had to be funny. True, but also funny. It had to be so weird to write this down in this third-party context. It's not like you're talking to somebody or whatever. You're coming up.
My cheek is hurting from this
I'm
stupid
sure.
thing. I'm trying not to laugh, okay?
I know. Anyway, but it had to be so funny and awkward. How was it for you to see me read this the first time?
Well, you were grinning the whole time.
I mean, that's kind of consistent with what I'm saying.
You were
isn't
like...
okay, do men, tell me this, do men get a stupid grin when they see something
I don't know
they
what's
like?
wrong with you. You're like,
How is the grin?
you do it, you're the man.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't paid attention
I don't
to it.
know,
You're the one watching it.
Just, I don't know, it's just so stupid.
Our brains go poof.
Oh, my cheeks. Okay. Yeah, it was very strange for me to see you read it. Not because I had to say this now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
The intimacy barrier has been broken by us.
Yeah.
In more than words.
Yes. So it's different to write something.
It's different to write a fiction, though, and
even
have
for
somebody
me to
read it.
write it for the first time, you
Yeah.
know, and that was tame.
You
It
had to
was,
lock the room so you could write it.
no, that was with Levi
Yeah.
and Charlotte, I remember.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. No, it was odd. It was funny. Now I'm quite used to it because I've read 1,000 of them from you, I'm sure.
Well,
But
I have to say, whenever I tell him, so I wrote this scene with Tilghman. He's like, okay. You know what I mean?
I do. I do. You gotta hate him, but you gotta love him.
Exactly.
No, all the good stuff happens to Tilghman in the series. Poor Jesse.
Don't spoil things.
He's not the luckiest in love. Neither is Mac.
Gala.
But Tilghman, I mean, I guess you got a quota to meet, and Tilghman just,
And Jamesy.
Yeah, Jamesy's funny.
James has a different style about him.
Oh, he's got a different style, all right. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Whew. What's the most surprising thing you learned about me through this series? I don't know if that's the best question, honestly, because you kinda... I guess we kinda answered that before, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so I think there's a lot of things that people might be wondering, like, okay, did I know that she was weird, or had like, yes, I did. That's why I like her. Okay. So I wasn't surprised by you being weird. I wasn't surprised by
Thank
obviously.
you.
I mean that as a compliment. I wasn't surprised by the gothic stuff, the nature. Not super surprised with you choosing to do it in the Victorian West, specifically because of the Victorian time period that we both like, and the Western and horses and all this. I mean, none of that's really surprising. I think what's surprising to me. Now you're the serial killer. You've always loved, psychology.
Yeah.
You've always loved language stuff. You've grown to love cultural stuff more and more. The more we've been together, the more we've seen the world. We've traveled a lot, and thankfully, and you're able to incorporate all that stuff into the books, which is really cool.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done it 10 years ago.
No.
In the same way.
Yes.
Also, the life lessons, the good things, the bad things, all that. We've been through a lot in each other's lives, throughout the time. So none of that's really surprising. But what's surprising, I think, is that little extra sauce, meaning I'm genuinely surprised at how well you're able to create a whole world out of nothing. Like, I know I mentioned how much I respect being able to do it, but I am actually really surprised. I had no idea that you had that in you. And I don't think you did either.
No, I didn't.
So, who knows? Maybe there's somebody random who hasn't really thought about it before, but they've got it in them too. They just don't know it until you try.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, total surprise you're able to do this. She's not someone that was, like writing short stories and writing essays and writing this all the time that I've known you. I know you've had to write a lot of things in school, and all that. But like since I've known you, you were not just writing short stories for fun, which some people do. It wouldn't be surprising that they turn around to write something longer. You started writing a 4 million word project out of nowhere when you should have been helping me build the horse fence.
I was building the horse fence. You cannot.
In the shade with your phone, writing the book.
No.
Well, I tore my bicep off.
That wasn't then. That's when you hit your thumb.
Nah. I forgot. I get injured a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, it's really a surprise.
Yeah.
In a cool way. Not that you're not capable of things, but just it's such an astounding endeavor to do. Would you be surprised? I mean, like music, but would you be surprised if I became like a classical musician?
Yeah.
Or like a composer?
Yeah.
Not just learning like to play the piano or something, but like if I became like a composer.
Yeah, I see.
You'd be like, where'd that come from? But I've never tried it. Who knows? Maybe,
Yeah.
Lee's art is going to be a thing.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's super cool for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for answering all my questions. Did you like them?
That was kind of fun.
You see?
Yeah. I think I talked a lot.
Well, yeah.
But it's my episode, so
Yeah, that's his
I
episode.
get to talk a lot. I'll have my special little bunny cup again
Yes.
for this episode.
The broken one, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, so these are the questions. And am I forgetting anything?
I know that you have another question from Rockin' Reads, if you want to
Yes.
answer one.
So Rockin' Reads, which also deserves a shout out because
she needs
she has read all my books and has reviewed all of them, and her reviews are really, really just perfect in every way. The pictures, the excerpts that she takes out, all the phrases, and just I really, really, really appreciate her. And
She's got a cool style.
she
puts
has a
lot.
cool style.
Yeah.
And yeah. She also is somebody that makes me shy to respond. I don't know why. It's just good people, when they treat me well, it just makes me shy. I don't know. So I do have a question from her. Let me see real quick. Are there any other characters inspired by real people in your life? That's a big question, though. Yes, there's a lot of people actually that I know that are in the series in more ways than one. Definitely my mom. I think she has inspired about 3 characters.
I know JB.
JB,
Yep.
Mrs. Georgie.
Mrs. Georgie. Later character in the series, but oh my gosh. Her mom's cleaning addiction.
Yeah, she just loves to clean.
She cannot sit.
She cannot sit, and she just loves to clean. So she's Mrs. Georgie. You'll see.
How compatible is that with being an author sitting down to concentrate? By the way.
Yeah, I know, right? She's also JB, and there's somebody else. Why can I not remember who?
Is there a Mrs. Clark in there a little bit with your mom?
No.
Not fully, yeah.
No,
not really.
But Dr. Clark is also inspired by somebody. I cannot say who.
That's great.
Just
be careful if you're in Christina's circle because she's taking notes.
Yes.
There's so many people that just even in small ways that you've entered in small characters or this or that.
I mean, Jesse is inspired by you. No. Yes. Do I have to say? Otherwise, I'm so confused right now.
No. Jesse is inspired by me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit. Don't get all offended now.
No, I want to see some good things happen to Jesse then.
Yeah.
His look needs to turn around a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's the ultimate example of nice guys finish last.
Wait, let me think. I have many friends that inspired characters, honestly, and I really appreciate them for that. They gave me a lot of material to work with. Yeah, I mean, honestly, through our travels, we've met so many interesting people. Just
the Austrian mathematician that was completely drunk and still managed to kick my butt in chess day after day after day. Or
the Leprechaun in Ireland. An elderly man that suddenly appeared
literally
out of
popped
nowhere.
out of the ground.
I don't know
literally
where he came from.
A short-statured man in Ireland, the first one we met on our first day.
So strange.
And we were, specifically in rural Ireland, and we were next to the beach, and he pops out of the sand
with a cane.
With a cane, and comes running to us, and then trips and lands at our feet, and pops up and goes, "Hey!" And we couldn't understand a word. He was something else.
That was so strange.
And I was so suspicious of him. I must have offended him.
Yeah, but so many people we've come across, very interesting people. And I think that's why it's so important also to travel and meet different people from different countries and cultures.
The vampire in Santorini?
Our Viking friend from Norway inspired an entire character, and he actually knows of that.
Yeah.
And his dogs, his sled team.
Yep.
Jackie Kennedy inspired somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Who else?
The Viking friend.
Your dad.
I mean, yeah.
Easel the Weasel.
Yeah, my dad has this shirt, and I don't know if somebody gave it to him as a prank, but my name is Ezel, but it can also be said Easel. And he's got the shirt that says Easel the Weasel. So I don't know if that was his high school wrestling mascot.
In Ghost, I have the Easel the Weasel cabin thing, so that's all his dad.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got the other character that's got like the Cajun accent, that can barely be understood.
Isn't that him?
Is that? Yeah,
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Easel the Weasel.
Yeah, okay. That's right.
And Tilghman is inspired by...
Really?
No.
We've had this phrase that says, Tilghman doesn't exist. Tilghman can't hurt you. I'm still petrified. Because I already think if little Tilghman popped out of the ground like a leprechaun, then our days are numbered. What is it with Tilghman?
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
What is with Miss McNaw?
To give me some ammunition against Tilghman.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, who else?
Millions of little tiny characters. I know that we have the vampire in Santorini. He became somebody.
Ah.
The one next to us that was so mysterious.
He didn't inspire anyone.
No, he should. Yeah.
As far as actors or actresses, I don't know. I've never been so much into this circle. I do like Brad Pitt, obviously, or Henry Cavill. And I would say Henry maybe inspired a little bit Levi, but really not that much.
Yeah.
Clint Walker may have inspired Tilghman a little bit. But again, they're all unique. I don't want to base my characters on actors. I rather do like real people, if that makes sense. Not like to like completely, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, my mom is not JB, you know, completely. But you
she's
know,
enough.
a little bit of little traces. I think that's funny.
What about Charlotte? Who inspired Charlotte?
Not me. Not me.
Okay.
I mean, yes, she does have brown hair, blah, blah, blah. But she's not, I consider her pretty, first of all, a lot prettier than me. I would say maybe I inspired like the personality because she is the protagonist. So I do give some of my, you know, character traces, whether bad or good, to her.
Like being shy or stumbling about in a funny way?
And I hope like kind.
In an endearing way.
Yeah, kind towards people.
Yeah.
You know, I hate when protagonists are not kind to other characters. I don't know.
When they're just too,
when they're kind of
they're too cool for school. They're kind of
yes,
aloof.
I don't like this, and I never wanted Charlotte to be like that. So, and very righteous, righteous.
Yeah. Who else? What about Mac?
Mac?
Everybody wants to know about Mac.
No one really. I don't know. I'm sorry, but no one.
He's your imagination.
He's my imagination. Yeah.
Did you get his quiet stoicism from me?
No. No. You know what? Mac is very similar to me, actually.
That is true. Yeah, she's the quiet one.
I'm the quiet one.
She's the one that grunts.
No.
But she is. She's.
People are
so
scared
funny.
of me, actually.
And I think mostly because of that.
Yeah, it's intimidating. I know.
Because there's so many times that we're in the kitchen or we're doing basic stuff, and I ask her what she thinks about this or that, and just no response. And I'm just like, I mean, I guess I can infer an answer from that, but you know, are you gonna say something?
No, sometimes I don't know what happens to me.
It's just if it doesn't need something that doesn't need to be said.
Yeah.
If something doesn't need to be said, why say it, right?
I don't know, and you know, when I'm out, I just don't do small talk. I don't look at people. I'm very much like Mac when I'm outside, and sometimes people take this that I'm very not pleasant.
That you're aloof or that you're
yeah, but also how's the word? Not so well. I'm not social, but how is it called? Not kind.
stuck up.
No, when you're very talkative, but very trying to connect with people.
Yeah, outgoing.
Outgoing, yes.
Yeah, you're ingoing.
I am. So.
But in a little group around the campfire.
Yeah.
Or with a little glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, those things aren't needed. But just when she's in a small group and comfortable, I think it's really, really nice to see her open up out of her shell.
Well, I need to just trust someone, you know.
Yes.
I don't want to give myself to people that I don't know, first of all. And I don't feel like they have earned my not respect, my
energy.
Attention or energy, yeah. I'm very selective with who I choose to converse with or whatever.
You're not trying to impress?
No. Mm-mm. No. Not at all.
Yeah.
I don't care. So
it's always ironic for me if someone says, well, Christina doesn't talk a lot. All I can laugh about is, like, you should see her write.
Yeah. You
should see the world that's going on. You know, the deep waters run still.
Yeah, I have a very busy mind.
Yeah.
And it's funny when people assume when somebody's very quiet and reverse that they have nothing going on in here, but that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
So
they always say it's the quiet ones you have to watch. For many different reasons. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you're my little quiet one
Thank you.
with your own talk show.
Yes. I don't know how that's going, but anyway.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, what an idea. Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question. And thank you so much for what do you say? For
Proposing them. Yeah.
Proposing them.
Thank you, Donna, for doing that.
And
This was
Rocket
fun.
Reads.
Yes.
Yeah. If anybody else or the same people or whoever has any other questions, let us know.
We will actually do it. A lot
Yeah.
of times questions go off into the ether, but we're paying attention.
Yeah.
We're small enough now we have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get in while the getting's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again, and don't splash everything out.
A little bit better than that. A little bit better.
Okay, don't break it. It's already broken over there.
Is that how it happened?
I don't know. Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.